YouTube, it's Annabelle. I just wanted to do a video about how my breastfeeding and pumping journey went. And this is kind of backtracking a little bit because I have already stopped. But in the beginning, when I was pregnant, I was not sure if I was going to breastfeed or not. And after doing some research, I figured that I would buy a used pump just in case. And I didn't want to spend a lot of money because as you get to know me, you will know that I'm very budget conscious. And I am willing to spend money when it is necessary. But any other time, I try to save money where I can. And I wasn't going to buy a brand new pump for $300 if there was a chance I wasn't going to use it. So I went on eBay and I got my pump used, and then I bought all new parts for it before my daughter was born. And for the first week, she latched on beautiful from the time that she was born. The nurses in the hospital said that she was doing such a good job. She latched on very well until the day that she didn't. And it kind of just happened all at once where she wasn't taking it and would not latch on. And that was a frustrating day because I was getting full and sore and so uncomfortable. And I finally was like, okay, well, this is what I got my pump for. So I pumped off a little bit and gave it to her in a bottle. And from then on, it worked fabulously for us. From that very first time that she had the bottle, I only tried to nurse her probably a handful of times after that, and it didn't go well. So I decided that, me and my husband decided that we were just going to go with the bottle. So I initially I did a bunch of research on how to build up my supply, and at first I was pumping every 3 hours around the clock. So while I was at home, because I was off work for 6 weeks, so while I was at home, I was pumping at noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m., midnight, 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m., and then back around to noon. When I went back to work, I started every 4 hours because I figured that I didn't want to, my job's not a job that I can just take a break from. My work is okay with it, but I didn't personally want to do that. So I had it set up that I could pump at 8 and then pump on my lunch break at noon and then pump as soon as I got off work at 4 and then at 8 and then at midnight and then at 4 a.m. So every 4 hours. And that worked really, really well. My supply got built up so much that we were running out of freezer space. Let's see, I was pumping 60 ounces, and she was only eating about 20 to 25, depending on the day. Some days she was more hungry than other days. But yeah, 60 ounces a day, I should get a high producer award. I think that's a lot. From what I read on the internet, that's a lot. So I was basically pumping for 2 days, and it went way better than what I thought. And my pump was my best friend. I'll admit it, my pump was my best friend. I took it everywhere with me. I got a car adapter for it, so when we would go on trips, I could still pump when I needed to. But when we hit May, we were at maximum capacity for our deep freeze. And so that's when I decided that since we had so much, that I could start pumping less. And so every week I took off a pumping session. So instead of pumping 5 times a day, I went down to 4 times a day, down to 3 times a day, down to 2 times a day, down to 1 time a day. And then the last week, I pumped once, and then it was like 2 days, and then I pumped again, and then I was done. And that hit us at the end of May. And it's taken 3 weeks for everything to go back to normal. And so it's been a tough journey since I stopped, but it was completely worth it. She is 5 months old, and she has never had any formula, and I'm very proud of that fact. Nothing against people who choose formula, that's fine. I was going to do formula if breastfeeding didn't work out for us. So it was just I bought my pump just in case, and it turned out that we used it, and I would do it again. And she is set until, I think I have it figured out that she is set until August, that we should be able to make it with her only having breast milk. But yeah, that is pretty much my breastfeeding and pumping journey. There was a few glitches along the way, but nothing major, and I would so do it again. I liked it, and I think that once she has to switch over to formula, when she's done with all of the milk that we have saved up, that it'll be a little bit sad. I remember that when we first gave her the bottle, and she wasn't latching on, that I cried, because I just felt like I was useless now because everything wasn't working out. And I cried when I stopped pumping also, because I was like, oh, my work here is done. That's what it felt like. But yes, anyways, I think that should be it for my journey with breastfeeding. But yes, you all have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon. Bye.